Hey everyone, this is video number 6 in the first Let's Do a Grand Tableau Together series. And today I'm going to discuss a subject that is unique to the method of distance. And while it's often overlooked, it plays a crucial role in your method of distance interpretations. And that subject is the difference between cards laying near and cards laying far from the significator, from the seeker. Okay, now you'll find all of that information in my Grand Tableau Method of Distance book, which you see right here in front of you. All right, so let's just jump in and see what information we receive when we look at certain cards and ask, what's the significance of this card falling near Adam or falling far from him? So I'm going to start with the lily. We've already discussed that a lot, right? It's part of the center 4. It's part of the box around the partner card, Eve. And we already noticed that it's in the same row as Adam, right? It's not under him. He's not crushing it. Okay, but what's the significance of it laying outside of his comfort zone? Now, if you look in the book, you see that when the lily is outside of the comfort zone, even though it's still in a favorable position to him, in other words, it's not under him, the fact that it lays outside of his comfort zone shows that he's not being rewarded, that he may be doing the right thing, but he's not being rewarded for it. Okay, so we then want to see what card is crushing this delicate flower. We always want to look to see what card is right above it, and we find the letter, right? So we already know that communication is at the heart of his issues, being in the center 4, but now we know that it is also the reason the blessings of the lily are currently out of his reach. This makes the issue of communication, or the lack thereof in this case, even more significant. We then look to see what the lily is blessing. That's the card right below it, right? And we have the mountain. So Adam's challenges and obstacles, we could say that, like that's the reason for the delayed marriage, right? It's still being blessed by the lily. So it's still, even though he's being challenged right now, he's got obstacles right now, we could say that the lily is still blessing them, showing that there's still hope for this couple. And of course, this is all directly connected to Eve, as it directly touches her card, right? So speaking of Eve, what does the mountain far from Adam say about Eve possibly being interested in someone else? Well, it shows that Adam doesn't have any enemies directly impacting his life at this time. That's what the mountain means, outside of his comfort zone, right? So that means there's nobody trying to challenge him right now. That to me is another confirmation that Eve is not being wooed by another man, all right? And that makes me look for the moon to see if he's being appreciated by others right now. And we can see that he isn't, because here's the moon all the way down here. It's out of his comfort zone and it is below him. So no one's really noticing him right now, including Eve. Yeah. All right. So, but we do know that because the rider is near, it's directly under Adam, that news is coming to him soon, and it will bring significant change for him. It's facing the stork. So the rider near says that news is coming soon, and it will be of a personal nature that will directly impact the seeker's private life. Now, the stork near says that changes are coming soon. Okay, this is always good to see if your life is in the toilet, right? Yay, change. Of course, if everything is perfect in your life, we don't want to see the stork near, do we? No, we want everything to stay the same. Now, if we consider the health cluster, that just caught my eye, we see that the tree is near. It's at the very, like outside of his comfort zone. As well as the whip, and the whip is near. Sorry, wait. I'm thinking of the health cluster, right? So the tree is near and the whip is near. Thankfully, the coffin is far, but the tower is far. Now, if you look up health cluster in the book, you'll understand why you want, the whip far, you want the tree far, you want the coffin far, but you want the tower near. Okay, so The whip and tree near tells us that there's something out of balance in Adam's life. There's tension and repeated discord. He's not thriving due to what's right above it, the mice, anxiety, something that's dwindling, something that's missing, lacking, unhealthy, unhealthy. Yeah, so, and as well, there are repeated tensions and frustrations in his daily life, right? That's the whip and the bird. And I'm tying that into the tree because right now I am reading about the tree. Okay. And these two are directly above him. They're in his comfort zone. The tree's there too. So can you see how I'm piecing all that together? All right. So, we could say too, I mean, we got the clouds and the mice right above the tree. So we could say that it's what he's not seeing clearly that's stealing his chance for thriving. Now notice he has the ways near, the crossroads, most people call it. What does that tell us? That Adam has a very important decision to make that regards what he desires most. The heart is above it, okay? Yeah, I mean, his very happiness and seeing the beauty in his life. We got the bouquet next to it. He must choose to stop scattering his energy. That's the birds. And decide where he's going to place his loyalty. So you can see how I'm jumping around, looking at the cards that are touching the ways to put together a story. So this ties into the fact that the house card, it's all the way over here, is out of his reach. It's out of his comfort zone, telling us that Adam is currently experiencing difficulties in his private life, right? He doesn't have control over his private life. The house is out of his comfort zone, all right? So personal matters will remain out of his control until he stands at the crossroads and chooses one path over the other. He has to make a serious choice right now, a decision. And it doesn't even look like he has many friends at this time. Poor guy. He's probably too busy for them too. That's why he doesn't have the garden near. I'm looking at the interpersonal cluster now. He's got the garden far, the child far, only the dog is near. Right? So, and that might just literally refer to his dog. His dog is his only friend right now. All right. So, but with these two far, with the child and the garden far, we know he's not having much fun in his life. And he's not much fun to be around. And also the moon far says he's not getting much attention or respect now, as I already mentioned. The sun far, where's the sun? Yeah. Says that he lacks the initiative to turn things around, probably due to the fact that he isn't following his higher guidance, right? We see that by the stars out of his reach. He's uninspired. He's not on the right path. Okay? Heading in the wrong direction. All right, so we can see that his divine guidance card, the stars, is shining its light on what? Hello, communication. I mean, how many times have I brought up communication in this spread? In fact, I'm really getting sick of Adam and Eve. And in the next video, we're going to start a whole new grand tableau. All right. Anyway, yeah, so nothing is going to go right until he sets things right with Eve. And the mice above the tree tells me that he's running out of time. He needs to place more value, right? Value is fish, right? He needs to place more value on his long-term commitment. That's tower and ring, right? So that's up here, right? So I know I just flew over here, but that's what happens sometimes when something catches your eye. You're like, Yoop. Yeah. Well, because, I'm thinking of Eve and their commitment to each other, their connection, their bond. So that led me to the ring. So that's why I did that. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to confuse anyone, so I'm going to stop talking now. That's it for this video. And I hope that gave you some ideas on what to look for in a method of distance grand tableau. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, everybody, go play with your cards. Bye-bye.